Beautiful morning, beautiful souls, dearest souls, I would say. There's nothing more dear than a soul. It's the dearest of the dear, the nearest of the near. Closer than breath and heartbeat is that true nature of us, Narayan G. So thank you for bringing it on. Thanks for bringing it this morning. Just bringing you, really, honestly. Lynn Adams, it goes the same. Lisa and Jim, same. Same beautiful, showing up, bringing everything you got. Because think of it, God in you, Emmanuel in within you and me and everything and everyone. Wow. I know it's easy to have a bad hair day, but it makes it a little easier, I think, if we jump on this line to get a few nuggets, a few different perspectives, possibly, or just remembering some things that are really, really worth remembering. So, thank you, my dears, for making this a very special occasion. Yeah, very special occasion for me, and I hope it is for you too, Narayan, Lynn, Lisa, and Jim. And we'll take it from there. Take it from there, Sam. So this is an interesting one, and I think very, very practical and important for all of us. It's called decoding, decoding the alchemy of resistance. Do you ever get resistance around something? Wow. It's, if you just stay mortal, if you just stay kind of in the human slump, we could say we're in a slump, like in let's say baseball, and the batter gets in a slump and he just strikes out most of the time, can't get out of the slump. Well, if we want to get out, you sometimes have those days where the resistance is so strong, and sometimes it's just so constant and every day that we don't even know there's resistance going on. But anyway, we're going to look at decoding the alchemy of resistance today. How does that sound? How does that sound, my dear? Anyone worth learning about how we can kind of not have that so much resistance about almost everything? Right? Just listen to the news. Just maybe not feeling so great. Maybe you got a little tingle in your throat or whatever. There seems always to be there's a little something that we want to resist, right? Because it shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be there. So let's see what kind of remedies are available for us today, my dears. What kind of little things that can we can do to remember from this stream that can help us out with this. So this has a lot to do with the vagus nerve and intuition, Lynn Adams. This has a lot to do with the vagus nerve. Interesting, right? Got your interest and intuition. Your nervous system, our nervous system, Laurie. Oh, Laurie, yay. This is a good one, Laurie. It's about decoding the alchemy of resistance, okay? And and I know we all got the resistance going on. You can't help it being in a human slump. Yeah, yeah. But it's our time to bat. All right. We take one little good little bunt. I'm referring to baseball now, or a little fly ball that gets in between the defense players, and we're out of our slump. All right. So this is about the vagus nerve and intuition. Our nervous system is the antenna of the soul. Our nervous system is the antenna of the soul. So if you ever wonder what it is that you can maybe get out of the slump quicker, it's to know, number one, that the nervous system is the antenna for the soul. So we gotta kind of have a soul moment. You know what I'm saying? We just need to have a soul spark go off, or just think of the soul for a moment. It could help a lot. See, we often think, excuse me, we often think intuition is something purely spiritual, a mysterious voice coming from somewhere beyond us. You know what I'm saying? Does that sound familiar? A mysterious voice coming from somewhere beyond us. That's what intuition is. But what if your ability to hear that voice depends partly on the state of your biology? Let's don't forget biology. You know, you all are eating well. You're all trying to take good care of your health. You're trying to heal quicker than anything ever healed before, right? And get back into, feeling your oats. Yeah, feeling groovy, whatever way you want to look at it. But what if your ability to hear that voice depends partly on the state of your biology? There's a powerful bridge. You might have heard this before. A powerful bridge between the brain, the heart, the gut, and nervous system called the vagus nerve. What a bridge. What a powerful bridge that sounds like to me. Between the brain, the heart, the gut, and the nervous system called the vagus nerve. It is one of the major pathways. Oh, this is beautiful because we just talked about this next word. It's one of the major pathways of the parasympathetic nervous system. We learned all about that the other day, didn't we? And we all chose, I do believe, the parasympathetic system rather than the sympathetic nervous system, which all is about stress and threats. Always feeling like there's a threat happening, right? Whereas the parasympathetic system is about rest. You know, remember we started that stream, I think it was yesterday or the day before. Relax into your task. Relax into your task. Whatever little thing you're doing, the next is relax into that task. All right. So we're back doubling up on learning more about the parasympathetic nervous system, the system associated with rest, recovery, digestion, and regulation. Wow. So, and this is where biology begins to touch something deeper, my dears. Remember that bridge, though. The brain, the heart, the gut, and nervous system called the vagus nerve. We want to get on that bridge, don't we? We want to have the brain, have a quiet mind. We want to have a heart full of love. This is just my take. We want to have a lot of guts. Yeah, we want to have a lot of guts today. We want to be fearless today. And the nervous system, let's see how it's going to be affected by what we choose to do and how we deal with this resistance of life, my dears. There's resistance of just being in the duality dream delusion. Yeah. So biology begins to touch something deeper here. When we're in the parasympathetic nervous system, the one that associated with rest, recovery, digestion, regulation, and we can certainly say healing. So when your nervous system is chronically dysregulated, your body prioritizes survival over subtlety. When our nervous system is chronically dysregulated, our body prioritizes survival or the sympathetic nervous system over the parasympathetic nervous system. So that means we're in a fight, flight, and freeze mode. a fight, we're always in a fight, it seems. A flight, we're running from something or wish something wasn't in the picture, right? And a freeze, we just go numb. Maybe we just get stuck. Well, I said it earlier, we get into a slump, a human slump, a delusive slump, my dears. And we can't get out of the slump no matter how we try. So in that sympathetic state of the nervous system, the fight, the flight, and the freeze, our attention scans for danger. Our mind becomes louder, our body becomes more reactive, and the quieter signals inside of us become harder to distinguish. That little still small voice, that little thing called conscience, right? That still small voice called conscious. Yeah, we might just have a harder time to distinguish when it's given us some really high value tips, my dears. But the alarm system is louder. The soul may still be whispering, Quieter signals become harder to distinguish, but the soul may still be whispering, but the alarm system is louder. When the nervous system becomes more regulated, something changes. The breath deepens. That means we're on the bridge. We got we got those beautiful things going on the bridge. The brain, heart, the gut, and the nervous system called the vagus nerve. Maybe they're all kicking in and helping each other out. I have a feeling that's coming right up, my dears. The quieter signals inside become harder to distinguish, but the soul, don't give up on that soul, right? We want to make sure we get at least a little hello to the soul. We need a little I love you maybe to the soul, or I surrender to the soul. When the nervous system becomes more regulated, something changes. So this is where we can really get into the right nervous system. All right, the right, the right frame of and state of mind, my dears. The breath deepens when we get more regulated in the nervous system, and we're talking the para, the para one, the parasympathetic one. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. The breath deepens, the body softens, attention expands, and you become less reactive and more receptive. There is suddenly space. I think we've had this stream some time ago. Something similar. There is suddenly space between stimulus and response. And inside that space, you may begin noticing signals that were always there. And you can maybe pick those signals up as a feeling in the gut or a quiet knowing that there's a space. There's between something just went down that you're resisting a stimulus and response. There's a space between those two. What just went down and your response. So that response could be a feeling in the gut, excuse me, a quiet knowing, a subtle pull, a sense of expansion or contraction, a truth that arrives without needing to be forced. This is where we must distinguish intuition from fear, my dear. Fear usually screams, intuition often whispers. Fear usually screams. Fear often whispers. Fear demands urgency. Got to do something, got to figure this out, whatever, right? Intuition can be remarkably quiet. You kind of feel in your nervous system, get a little less nervous, and you're jumping out that sympathetic one and into the parasympathetic right now, my dear, so that you can have this moment in this space between the stimulus and the response, right? Before another bit of resistance gets to you, and we respond in a way that's kind of, more stressful and not so great for the nervous system. We might even jump off the bridge if we're not careful. Intuition whispers, right? Fear screams. Fear demands urgency. Intuition can be remarkably quiet. And fear repeats the wounds of the past, my dear. So those things that they stay open, those wounds. Intuition often, or fear repeats the wounds of the past, but intuition often feels like clarity appearing beneath the noise in this beautiful space where we can hang out more with the soul tribe, with the soul gang, the rainbow tribe. This is why nervous system regulation can become part of spiritual practice, my dears. And we talked about this one yesterday. Slow, deep breathing. Pull in the reins. Let's get that wild stallion that's just running off, doing its thing again, right? Let's wheel it in. We talked about that yesterday. Yep. Slow, deep breathing is another possibility. Humming, om, 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 om. Singing or chanting, meditation and silence, time in nature, compassionate self-touch. compassionate self-touch, creating genuine experiences of safety and connection. Boy, look at all that beautiful self-management. Oh man, that's really taken care of. We need Tara, who hopes she's over that a little bit of those wild mushrooms that she took yesterday. She told us about it and got pretty sick from it. So maybe she feeling that she's on a mend because of all of us bringing this good energy. And of course, she's here now. So let's just let the lights shine even brighter than they were when we came on, okay? And let the energy, the Shakti energy, cosmic energy, the prana enter all of us, right? Let's find that gap. Let's get back on the bridge. Let's get out of the slump, my dears. All right. These practices don't magically manufacture intuition, but they reduce some of the noise that can prevent us from hearing ourselves clearly. So perhaps this is the deeper alchemy of resistance. Resistance isn't always something to conquer. Mm, mm. So let's don't freak out. Let's don't freak out when that stimulus comes and our response is to freak out, right? Maybe we don't. Sometimes resistance isn't always something to conquer. Isn't that kind of crazy good idea? Sometimes resistance is the nervous system saying, I don't feel safe enough to open yet. I don't feel safe enough to open yet, says the nervous system saying that. But instead of fighting it, become curious about it. Curious. Oh, what's that? What is that? Not feeling safe right now. What could that be? So I guess you get curious about it. You breathe into it. You listen to it, and you regulate before you interpret. You regulate it. A couple of deep breaths, like saying, maybe a little humming, maybe a little time in the silence, maybe some compassionate self-touch. Connect, to yourself in a physical way, a little tapping. All those things are ways, instead of fighting it, we become curious about it, my dears. Breathe into it, listen to it, regulate before you interpret. And because when the body no longer has to scream for survival, something quieter becomes audible. When your body feels safe, your soul feels free to speak. Maybe awakening isn't always about reaching higher. Sometimes it's about becoming quiet enough to hear what has been inside you all along. And then this comes to an end. This was a kind of a shortish post that came in. Resistance. This ends up by saying, resistance is not the enemy. Resistance is the alchemist. Is the alchemist. Yeah. I'm an alchemist. We are alchemists, my dears. We are, we are, we live on that bridge. What were all those things that were on the bridge that are really important? Yeah. Where we have the brain, the heart, the gut, and nervous system called the vagus nerve. And in this bridge, they're all rocking together. They're all in harmony together. They're all breathing together. They're all moving from a soul perspective. They're hearing those whispers, that silent, still, quiet, conscious, that small, still voice. They hear it. So this is why they end up in this post saying, maybe awakening isn't always about reaching higher. Sometimes it's about becoming quiet, my dears, enough to hear what has been inside you all along. Resistance is not our enemy. It's not our enemy. if there's an enemy, it's that we don't take advantage of that gap, right? The stimulus came in, and then there's a gap before we have uh, make our move, right? And if we can, touch base with the soul, remember that soul, if it's left just to hang just by itself, it may not activate until we kind of spur it, until we remember it in that gap. I would say the gap is, if soul is saying the gap is made for walking. The gap is meant for walking into me. Come straight to me, says the soul. The gap is made for touching base with the soul so that your response is amazing, right? And you do choose one of those things where you breathe into it, listen to it. You start to feel safe about it. You get curious about it. You get quiet about it. Your body starts to feel safe. You have some really nice. I love how there was that self-care, taking care of yourself. Yeah, that you can really have some moments, again, maybe some human soul touch to the human that's in a slump. Little taps, little just little hugs. Yeah. Okay. So that would put the nervous system right where we want it, my dears. And that is, a way to be an alchemist. And that finally she or he says, decode this whole thing about what happens after stimulus happens, and it's time for a response. And let's don't jump off the bridge. Let's get out of the slump by decoding what's happening, by making sure we contact soul for help, right? For everlasting love, help, for everlasting love. Yeah. So we decode, we transmute, and we rise. How is that, my dears? Does that sound good to you? Yeah. So listen, I think I have a something that maybe we can. Wow, what is that? What is that saying? Let's just do this since I guess we're under a new moon. We're under a new moon affirmation. Huh? Let's see if that has anything to do with what we were just doing. All right. Under this new moon, I become a magnet. I become a magnet for everything that elevates my life. A magnet for everything that elevates my life. Under this new moon, my dears, I welcome. Now, this is talking about being all those systems just on the bridge, just going off. The vagus nerve, parasympathetic system is going off. The gut, your guts are, you're reading the gut is just giving you really amazing intuition, right? And you are now in the gap because this next thing about this affirmation, I welcome unexpected blessings. I welcome them. That's what I do in the gap. I welcome unexpected blessings. I'm poised. I'm poised. I'm ready to respond. I'm going to have responsibility, right? Responsibility, coming right up because I'm in the gap. I can now not react because I'm in the gap. And I welcome unexpected blessings, powerful opportunities, deep love, abundance that exceeds what I thought possible, my dears. Yeah. Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. I might end on this little thing since we're talking about the nervous system. and nervous system training. How's that? How does that tie in a little bit? We got 5 minutes left, my dear, and I won't go over today. And this is just a little bit about cold water is nervous system training. Cold water is nervous system training. Really? What does that say? Ah, this guy is like me. I don't take cold showers because I enjoy being cold. I don't do it to prove how tough I am. And I'm not trying to punish my body in the name of discipline. I do it because of what happens to my energy. So I thought this guy was just someone who said, "Ooh, I like a nice hot shower." Right? And he said, "No, I do it because of the energy." But there's another reason that may be even more important. Cold water is one of the fastest ways I know to return myself to the present moment. Yeah. Ooh. Jumping in a cold pool or a cold ocean or a cold lake, my dears, anyone, right? You want to get into the present moment? Think about it. You can stand in a warm shower thinking about yesterday, planning tomorrow, replaying conversations, and worrying about something that hasn't happened and barely notice the water touching your body. Then turn that water cold. Boom, boom. Yeah. Yesterday disappears, tomorrow disappears, the mental chatter gets interrupted. Suddenly there is this breath, this body, this moment. You don't have to convince yourself to be present. The cold demands it. And there is real physiology underneath that experience. Sudden cold activates. Oh, you know what it activates? The sympathetic nervous system, the body's mobilization system. Yeah, we could use a little help in that sympathetic thing that is always afraid and afraid of this and afraid of that, and everything's attacking it and everything's wrong, right? Kind of thing. It activates the sympathetic nervous system. Your breathing changes, blood vessels near the skin constrict, your heart and circulation respond, and your body releases chemical messengers such as nor norepinephrine, which is heavily involved in alertness, attention, and arousal. Your entire organism receives a message. Wake up, dude. I added, dude. This is part of what I experience as energy, not necessarily some mysterious energy entering the body, but biological energy becoming mobilized, attention becoming concentrated. Your nervous system is suddenly paying attention. Try it just next time you're in the shower. Just turn it to cold and go turn it and then turn it off. And just get that little boom. Just get that little thing. Don't go, you don't start slow. All right. And this is where the practice becomes fascinating. The first instinct under freezing water is get out. The body tenses, the breath wants to become chaotic, nervous system react. But instead of immediately obeying that reaction, I breathe, I observe, I relax as much as I can. I stay, and now I'm practicing something much bigger than tolerating cold. I'm practicing my relationship with stress. There's the stimulus. This is my body's reaction. And then there's something else. The awareness, observing the reaction, that space matters. The space, that's what he does to get the space. Maybe that's the savior of reacting to a stimulus, right? Just get into a cold shower next time you get into a shower. That space matters because life does the same things. Someone triggers you, fear appears, anger rises, pressure builds, a craving hits. Your nervous system reacts before you're consciously decided what to do. Cold gives me a controlled environment to practice that moment. Stimulus equals reaction equals awareness equals conscious response. Instead of stimulus, automatic reaction. That is nervous system training, my dears. And afterwards, something interesting can happen. The intense activation subsides, breathing settles, the body begins recovering. You can simultaneously energize and be centered. That combination is what I love, not numb, not overstimulated, alive. So when I say cold showers change my energy, I mean something very specific. My attention stops scattering, my senses become sharper, my breathing becomes conscious, my nervous system wakes up, and awareness returns to my body. For these moments, I'm not living inside a memory. I'm not rehearsing an imaginary future. I'm not lost in thought. I'm just freezing to death. I just added that. I'm not lost in thought. I'm here. Maybe that is the deeper gift of the cold. I don't doesn't just train the body to tolerate discomfort. It trains me to discover the space between what happens to me and how I respond to it. See, there it is. That's the gap. That's where we go into the soul. That's where we also can get tapped in, is in that, go to the soul, or a soul tap in. Or a soul tap in, my dears. You can't think your way into the present moment as fast as you can feel your way into it. That's why I take cold showers, not because I want to feel cold, but because I want to feel completely alive. And that is that. All right. Well, I went 1 minute over, but interesting, right? Who would have thought this? Who would have thought this? Probably the thing you're gonna remember most about this thing is maybe the gap, maybe the whisper of the soul trying to get your attention. Maybe that's it. Probably it's going to be the cold shower idea. Yeah. All right. So whatever it is, my dears, let's rub our hands and chant an Om, because the Om makes you warm. Inhale the breath. This is for healing across the board for everyone on this line. Start with our tribe here. Tara, Lori, everybody else that needs a little touch up, a little whatever it is you need. Let the divine breathe your need. And let's chant Om. Let's go again, my dears. Let's do another one. Whatever is your next breath, it's breathing in whatever it is that you need the most. How's that? Oh. And then we put on our Superwoman, Superman outfit. We start with the love goggles, the love goggles, and we love. Now we do that self-caring. We care. We start to feel. We take many hugs today. All right, and then we get to share. Yeah, we get to share. That's one thing, just doing these crazy things that we just shared, and not crazy, but just having a good time while we share. That it brings some light. Next time you see somebody, you're gonna have some very beautiful light coming off of you, and maybe it remain, be self-sustainable in the light, my dears, and I will too. Thank you for coming on. Everybody good? We good, Lynn Adams? You got any input? No, just yeah, yeah. Turn it up a little colder. Come on. All right. See you in the gap, my dears. Much love. Have a beautiful rest of your forever. Tara, hope you're feeling tons better. Lori, same, tons better. Ryan, always better. Lisa and Jim, always better. More and more of all that is everything that would just lift you up. So that is that. Aho. Love you all. Namaste.